Hi guys, it's officially time for me to start this channel. I've been putting it off for a couple weeks here. I do have a baby, so life becomes very hectic very fast when you have a little one. So with that being said, I apologize in advance. My setup is a little strange right now. I know you can't tell from the video. I did that on purpose. Hand on this side's a little larger than this hand. That is because my phone is angled at such a way because my device holder is broken. So we're working with what we can right now. With that being said, because this is my first reading on the channel, it is a full moon right now. I don't really want to talk too much about like timing and like what's going on because I want these mostly to be timeless. But with that being said, I think we should start out strong with some Moonology cards. So I actually, okay, messing up my shuffle right on the beginning. So I haven't used this deck in a really long time. So what I want to do is pick a pile. All right. That's fun. 2 already popped out. So this is going to be pile number 1. I'm figuring out, I'm looking at the angle. I can actually see the camera, which is cool. This is going to be pile number 2. I just need one more for pile number 3. Just going to pull the last card in my hand. This is ooh, sorry. Learning the angles of this camera. This is probably going to change again, my setup. So, yeah, I apologize for the angle. This is like real sideways, but you know what? It's okay. We do what we can. All right, so this is mostly centered, I guess, maybe. That's okay. So anyway, with that being said, pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. Feel free to make your selection. I will stop talking for a second and pause just in case you like to focus in on it and meditate first before you choose a pile. I will also have, I know YouTube is very particular about what phrases you use for things, so I'm just going to say the timestamps will be in places. I'm sure you can find them. So, all right. So with that being said, please choose your pile. I also figure you could just pause the video. Anyway, I'm also just going to intuitively assign zodiac signs per pile, just for fun. Capricorn, Libra, Pisces, and Aries is pile number 1. Good God, let's see if I remember that. Pisces, Libra, Capricorn, and Aries is pile number 1. Pile number 2, Leo, Sagittarius, Aquarius, and Scorpio. And pile number 3, the remaining signs, which is Cancer, Taurus, Gemini. Oh no, who am I forgetting? I promise I'm good at astrology. I do this often. Gotta go through them in my head real fast. One moment, please, as I'm buffering. Oh no. Why am I blanking on the last sign? Oh no. Who am I forgetting? I said Aquarius, I said Capricorn, I said Pisces. I said Aries, I said Taurus, I said Gemini. Virgo. Oh, I never said Virgo. Duh. Because my brain assigned Virgo to pile number 1 because the moon and Virgo card is here. Oh no, Virgo. How could I forget you? You are my Legnesh. How could I forget? Anyway, oh God, please feel free to skip this whole section. I am so sorry. Please bear with me. So with that being said, 4:44 in my recording, we are going to start with pile number 1. I want to put these other 2 piles off to the side for the time being. Pile number 1, let's pull some cards for you, see what's up. I'm going to try to keep these like semi-short just because, again, I am on a time crunch. And thank you for bearing with me while I figure this out. All right, so let's start with some Spirit Animal Oracle. Usually I like to shuffle until cards fall out. We're on limited time. I still trust that whatever I pull out will be what you guys, need to hear. I know you couldn't see that, but Skunk Spirit, know your worth. Yes, Virgo, know your worth. Because I know, again, I wasn't going to talk about timing, but it's okay. I'm going to talk about the transits. K2 is over your moon right now. I experienced this last year as a moon in Libra person. I experienced K2 transiting over my moon. It can be a very difficult time period. I don't blame you, but you have to know your worth. I know that Virgo, just as a general sign, just wants to provide a sense of just overall, just they want to help people. Like, I get it. Listen. So, but don't help people to the degree that you are actually hurting yourself. You need to know when to step back. You need to know when too much is too much. You know what I mean? You can't run yourself dry trying to take care of other people. That's not going to work for you. As much as you want to, you can't. Okay? I'm going to get, sorry. Anyway, I'm going to stop apologizing because that's something I need to work on. But anyway, let's pull some more for pile number 1. There it goes. Koi fish. Spirit. There is always enough. Know your worth, and there is always enough. So even during my own moon in K2 transit, I always felt like I was missing something, or that I was struggling to pull together resources in a way. It's hard to pull yourself out of that mentality while you're in it. But I promise you, if you take time, if you take it sounds funny, but if you take like a scheduled, 5-10 minutes a day to just sit in gratitude, like, I have a roof over my head. I do have running water. I do have access to food. There are people in my life that love me. Maybe I'm fortunate enough to have a job. Whatever you have to tell yourself. Sitting in that gratitude will bring more. Because I know that while K2 is transiting over the moon, it can feel like there isn't enough, or that things are being taken from you. But just remember that when you lose things, it's actually a divine redirection. You don't have to sit there and beat yourself up over losing things. And that again ties back into knowing your worth. Because you are worthy of beautiful things in your life. And don't let a single person tell you otherwise. And even this here, a time to give rather than take. Again, just be careful with how much you're giving, There is a limit, because if you're not taking the time to give to yourself, you won't really be able to give to other people. So that's, I think, even in this terminology for this particular pile right now, you have to give to yourself. And that also, again, ties in with knowing your worth. Because if you don't know what you're worth, you can be prone to over-giving and then depleting yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup, You have to take that time to do what fills up your cup. Okay. So, I haven't used this deck in a while either. I will also put links to these decks that I use in the magical box below. I said I wasn't going to try to shuffle till they came out. So let's get some more for this. Peace. Aw. Yeah. I already forget what zodiac signs I assigned to this pile, but peace is exactly what I was kind of picking up on. Like, get to a space of internal peace, because the more you actually allow yourself to be in that state of peace, the more the piece gets drawn into your life. Oh, this pile was for Libra. Oh, I'm dragging myself. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to the beginning of this recording and actually put the piles, you know, pin them in the comments or whatever. Anyway, yeah, peace. I'm gonna cover these cards. We've seen them. You could take screenshots as you need to if you want to remember the cards, because again, these are pretty big cards. This is like the size of my hand and they'd be taking up a lot of space. I'm gonna take that as a sign to take the card on the bottom. Don't know what that was, but the image I only saw in the reflection of the camera, so I said, ooh, that's a good one. So, truth. Exactly. As I don't know why I keep addressing this to Virgo, probably because Virgo is in this. As K2 is the shatterer of illusions. I technically didn't even assign Virgo to this pile, but that's okay. Let's take that all as a lesson. I don't know, maybe you have prominent Virgo placements in your chart. So this first pile will have the 4 zodiac signs I mentioned plus Virgo, if you really want. Anyway, so truth. I like the imagery of that because she's holding a mirror and there appears to be a sunset in the background that's creating kind of a halo around her. What's interesting is that it is a mirror. Okay, so the message I'm getting from that is just be careful what you mirror, because what you mirror to other people can show you the truth about yourself. Whether you like that, whether you want to see that or not, it really can be a mirror. If you find yourself getting really angry with someone about something, for example, what is it about that situation or that person that is making you so angry? Try to trace it all the way back to the beginning and see if you can find a root cause for that. See if the truths that you're telling yourself are things that you should still be believing today. Oh, there it is. I just pulled it all together. Go all the way back to the negative core self-beliefs that you've been telling yourself for so many years. Go back to your innermost child when you were the most carefree. What were you doing with your time? Can you tap into that now? Can you sit and meditate with that energy? Can you bring it back out? Oh God, I want to go so far into these piles. Again, limited time. I'm going to have to cut them short. But I'm going to try to make them at least 10 minutes per piece. I still got 2 more piles. So let's pull one more animal spirit as guidance. Let's make each reading 6 cards for the energy of Venus. So one more piece of final guidance for pile number 1, please. The remaining card is Eagle Spirit. Spirit has your back. Exactly. And maybe the number 23 is significant for some reason. Maybe you're 23 or you're born on the 23rd or something, you know. So Spirit has your back. Kind of what I was saying, even with like the taking the time out to sit in gratitude. The more you do that, the more you are, again, telling the universe that you are grateful for what you have, and that even as I look around my space right now, like I never thought that I would end up here again, where sometimes you can feel a little bit set back, but understand that it's all a divine redirection. You're never somewhere by accident. Like everywhere you are is where you're supposed to be. Just remember that. And remember that whatever path you take, your guides, your higher self, any of your, any of the deities you work with, like they are here to support your highest good. So even if you feel like you're not doing right, or you're making mistakes, or you're just, in general, just being really mean to yourself, like, I know it's hard, but try not to be. Because there are always solutions. Even if you don't think that there are, I promise that there are. So with that being said, my beautiful pile number 1, I hope this was helpful. I'm not going to sit here and be like, hey, comment in my comment section, please. If you want to comment, feel free. I'm never going to sit here and like ask people to do that. But if any of this resonated also, that would be cool. I would love to know. But I understand that not everyone's got time to comment. The amount of times I will just like a video and move on with my day, fine. I understand. But anyway, I love you guys. Have a beautiful year. Bye. I'm not going to edit any of these videos. So they're all going to be just the transition between each one. Okay, I was like, wait, what did I pull? One of the Moonology to start that I already have pulled. One of these, 2 of these cards with words on them. And then, I didn't pull any of my animal tarot card deck. That's okay. All right, so the first one I pulled was an animal spirit. I'm going to try to keep it in like the same kind of, I'm sorry, excuse me if you heard that. We keep going. I didn't say anything. Don't worry about it. So, wow, I'm definitely in channeling mode now. The amount of chaos I was channeling, 10 minutes prior to recording this. I was like running around, dancing around in my kitchen. Oh, full moon eclipse. Yep. Okay. I'm channeling it right now. I was dancing around in my kitchen and then all of a sudden I'm like, why am I so hyper? What is going on? And I just thought about it for a second. I was like, wait, at the time that I'm recording this, the moon is in Mrigshira. And I was like, I know it's in Mrigshira until about 2 a.m., which means it is in the Gemini portion, which means we are in full moon territory. As I'm dancing around in my kitchen, I stopped everything I was doing and went, oh my God, I gotta go upstairs right now and record this reading. It's time. Anyway, so with that being said, let's get some cards for my beautiful pile number 2. 2 is my favorite number out of the options of 1, 2, and 3. 2 is typically what I will choose when I'm watching my own pick a card readings. Because I am definitely a member of the community. I love watching the videos. Oh boy. That sounded like it hit something. It didn't hit the floor, so that's good. I'm pretty sure 2 popped out the first reading too. Cat spirit. Look at that. Claim your independence with full moon eclipse. Interesting. And spirit has a plan. So the first thing that I just heard a moment ago was, if you are thinking about starting a business, do it. It is a Mars year. Mars is about action. It's about passion. It's about drive. Think about the things that really drive you. Do you have an idea that will actually change the world? Act on it. Because what's the saying? If you don't act on a good idea, it gets recycled to someone else or something. Something like that, right? So if you were thinking about starting a business this year, this might be your sign to do that. Especially even just like kind of look at his face. Let me get the light out of the way. He's got his arms crossed, but he looks pretty content. He looks like he knows what he should be doing. Interesting. Look, I've never noticed that. There's a little bell all the way in the corner, and whenever I see a bell, it just reminds me of clarity. So it could be almost like someone is ringing a bell in your ear and you're starting to finally see and hear things clearly for the first time, maybe in a very long time. Like, great example, let's just say there's a song you've been listening to for like 10 years. You know all the lyrics. You've never looked them up, but you know them all. And you're just listening to the song and you realize, oh wow, I don't know these lyrics like I thought I did. I've been singing this song for 10 years, but I just realized that I've been singing the wrong lyrics in this particular section of the song. So think about that metaphorically. Like, where have you been singing the wrong lyrics? What have you realized recently about that? What area of your life have you not taken the time to just pause and listen rather than just always singing along? What loop do you have that is playing out in your mind that is preventing you from hearing the fact that there are different lyrics playing in that section than you think are happening? You know what I mean? Oh, that's fun. Oh, I like that. I didn't talk about the cat spirit yet. What's interesting is I was just channeling cat-like energy maybe like a half an hour ago before I started this video. I like that he's got little wings too. Also, what's intriguing about that is he's got 2 different colored eyes. And what's interesting about cats is that they're very selective about what they want and when. Which is exactly why, as I just read the caption where it says claim your independence as I'm talking about that, it's funny. Sorry, I had to pause for a second. I thought I heard someone walk in. That's a reminder that I have to be conscious of the time. I'm doing about 10 minutes per video. So I wanted to get more of the cards here. I'm pretty sure it was 2 of these cards. And then a final animal spirit for guidance. Okay, that one's stuck. Healing. Aw. Okay. All right, pile number 2, I see you. You know what? These can be spread out like a little bit more. I can see the frame, see where it all kind of lays. Healing and happiness. Aw. That's so sweet. I love that for you guys. Happiness. With a butterfly. That's so interesting. Maybe pile number 2 is for me too. On New Year's Eve, I actually saw a monarch butterfly dance around in front of my son, actually. So healing and happiness. Maybe if you have children, this message could be for you. If you can take tangible steps to increase their happiness in any way, do it. Even if you are not really in a good place right now, helping them fully embrace their happiness will only help you with yours. You know, like, even if you don't have kids, and that message is not exclusively for people that have children, obviously. Just taking time out of your day to, you know, help someone just from the good of your heart, just because you want to. Like, nothing bad can ever come out of that. If you're taking the time to genuinely go out of your way and do something nice for someone. Like, I don't know, maybe you're at your job and someone might be kind of far away, but you decide to hold the door open for them, and they kind of run up to you and they're like, oh my gosh, thank you. I don't know, maybe they had an arm surgery recently and they're having trouble opening heavy doors, and because you happened to be there at the perfect timing to hold the door open for them, you might have made their day because they were really hoping that they were going to run into someone that was going to hold that door for them. You know what I mean? Or maybe they have a lot of things in their hands, and just you taking the time out to say, hey, this person, you know, might need my help. Let me see if I can help them. What I'm getting, I was just looking at this again. The healing card with the conclusions are in reach. So maybe a lot of you, again, this is supposed to be timeless, but this is also at the timing of a full moon. Maybe a lot of you will have something illuminated when it comes to your own healing. For example, for all my Scorpio people, I'm a Scorpio ascendant. This full moon right now is in our 8th house in Gemini. So that is about transformation, healing and happiness. Yeah. Sometimes, and the 8th house is kind of a dark place. So sometimes having that light shine on those areas, like I know the moon reflects the light, which is interesting that I chose the word light. And I kind of even have a cool lighting. I actually didn't even mean to leave the light on the setting. That's funny. This is like very moon-like lighting that I have going on here. When the moon in the photo is red and I chose the colder lighting. That's so interesting. Well, you know, we're in January right now, which is okay. It's a little cold out here. Anyway, we should get one more card. Okay. Sorry, guys. Don't mind my singing. No, something just told me the card I just pulled is not the one I was supposed to see. Huh. This is funny. This is the card that's on the front of the box and also the guidebook. It's cool. Take the lead. As I was just talking about Scorpio, Anuradha and Jeshta both being deer. So this is a message, I suppose, for the Scorpio people. I don't remember who I assigned. I don't think Scorpio was even in pile number 3. But regardless, you know, whatever. What I really like about this particular image, I'm not even holding it in the frame, is that there's some beautiful blooming flowers in the corner here. And it's kind of a reminder that you, at the end of the day, are in charge of your own life. And you can choose to make your life better if you want. Oh, did I just hear the door open? No, my dog is chewing food downstairs. Thank you, Chloe, for your contribution. Much appreciated. So anyway, okay, I see. So I think this particular pile, what Spirit is saying is that you can take the lead for your own healing. You have to be independent enough to kind of chase your own happiness. Sorry, that was so corny. I had to pull all the cards together. Anyway, I really hope this makes sense to people. Thank you for joining along with my chaotic journey of how when I go into channeling mode, I just ramble. But I have full faith that whatever messages I share are meant to be reaching the right people. And I have faith that they will be heard by the right people. I feel like pile number 2 was kind of all over the place, like energetically. So maybe that's a sign too. I kind of mentioned that with pile number 1, but maybe pile number 2, like, because again, this is the full moon eclipse energy, and eclipses are typically kind of a malefic event. Maybe pile number 2 right here is feeling a little bit more on the chaotic side. So as I was mentioning in pile number 1, maybe take a little extra time, take 5 minutes to just breathe and just sit with no thoughts. Just allow yourself to just exist and let all of the thoughts pass by you as if you were a mountain and you are simply watching the clouds and you're just focusing on being the mountain and being sturdy and being steady. So that just put me right into a meditative trance. That's cool. With that being said, I think that's all I got for pile number 2. I really would love to keep going into these piles more, but again, time frame. I got one more pile. Pile number 3. But anyway, thank you guys for joining. I hope this was helpful. I didn't even mean to spread this out so chaotically. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. And let's get ready for pile number 3. Just kind of also shoving these cards back into the deck at random so that I don't accidentally pull the same card twice. Nope, it wouldn't have been an accident. Gotta stop that thought real quick. Nothing is an accident. Well, yeah, I believe that. I had to think about that for a moment. I'm sorry, y'all. I also have to stop apologizing. But anyway, all right, this is not about me. This is about you guys. Take time to breathe out. Actually, first, hello, pile number 3. Didn't say hello first. Got a little distracted. Take time to breathe out. Is the disseminating moon. I had to take a second. I'm not 100% sure what disseminating means off the top of my head, to be completely honest with you, and I've been speaking English my whole life. Maybe that's a lesson right there. Take some time today to learn something new. Have you heard a word recently and you have no idea what it means? Go look it up just for fun. You really never know. And what's interesting about this imagery too is that it looks cold. Like we're at the time of me filming this, excuse me, the urge to yawn just took over my body. At the time that I'm filming this, it is January. It's cold for most places. I live in the tropics. You'll be safe out there, though. I mean, it's been cold for where I live a little bit. All the locals are like, oh my god, how do I use my heater? I'm like, it's okay. I grew up in Philly, so I'm used to the cold. That's a shout out. That's maybe pile number 3 is for my people that are from up north. So if you clicked on pile number 3, hi. I almost said hi, B words. I will most definitely be cursing at some point in time on my videos because that's just who I am. Again, from Philly. We curse every other word up in Philly. But for this moment, I set the intention to keep it a little more PG. So once I listen back, no idea if I've already cursed. I don't even hear it half the time. But anyway. Whoa, that was quick. I didn't get very far. This is 3 cards? Yes. Okay. Watch and wait. Seahorse spirit. Squirrel spirit. Believe in yourself. And I actually, the 3rd card already flipped out, but as I've been doing for the other 2 piles, you don't get to see it till the end. Only I know. For the moment what this card is. Oh Lord, the chaos that is sprawled all around. All these decks and all these boxes. Maybe that's part of the energy. Take time to breathe out. If you kind of, I don't know why I just heard the phrase, if you've lost your marbles, if your marbles have spilled out of their box, take the time to just, oh, there it is. I see where the imagery is coming out of now. So you know when you're already like really upset and then like your shirt gets caught on a door handle or something just purely dumb and you just kind of let yourself rage for a second. Allow yourself to be mad. Sometimes it is healthy because if you are sitting there suppressing it and trying to hold it back, that's not really doing anything for you. It's going to come out again at a later date. You might as well allow yourself to feel it and allow yourself to be mad for a little bit if you really have to be. You know what I mean? And then release it. And then try not to think about it after that. Like, allow yourself permission to not be stuck in that energy. I also had a psychological, like, think about, what is it? The inflection at the end of a sentence that goes up, where it's kind of like a sentence, where you're like kind of questioning it, you know? I actually already don't even remember what I said that made me get into that, but yeah. Maybe some of you are questioning why or where you can find peace. Interesting. Maybe that's where this energy is kind of coming from, the watch and wait. Because if you look at the imagery, he looks like he's got some, that looks like coral, actually. I've never looked at this very closely. Kind of looks like coral growing out of him. So he's been still for so long that nature has started to regrow around him again. That's very intriguing. I love concepts like that too, where, like, let's just say you're in an urban area and for some reason, like, that particular building has been abandoned or whatever, and there's a parking lot outside. Eventually, that concrete is going to split. That asphalt is going to split. Whatever, actually, roads are made different all over the place. Where I live, the roads are made of asphalt, but eventually that road will split and there will be grass growing out of it again, or maybe a little flower will poke its head out. So maybe that's where the growth comes from for you guys, pile number 3. Actually allowing yourself to be still long enough for those seeds that you've planted to start sprouting and turning into little flowers instead of trying to rush the process. Ooh, that ties into the last card. I'm excited to show you guys that. Yeah. Okay. So let's pull these 2. I don't know how long this pile has already been running. I haven't been watching. I've been so into the channeling. It's like my conscious brain steps aside for a little bit, and I'm like, reminds me of that meme where it's like, is this Anyway, so I'm gonna grab 2 of these cards. Boundaries, yes, important. Ooh, she's got a stern face. Look at her. And career. Ooh, okay, pile number 3. Courage at the bottom of the deck. So maybe some of you are thinking about leaving a job that you have and starting in a new one. Oh, this is where this card comes in. This kind of came out for pile number 2 as well. Believe in yourself. So what I was telling pile number 2 is that if you have wanted to start a business, this year might be a good one for that. But you have to believe in your idea enough, and you have to believe in yourself enough. Like, be so crazy that it's gonna work. Like, believe in yourself so delusionally that it actually happens. There are so many people that make videos on that. They're like, be delulu, man, it works. Like, fake it till you make it. Smile every day until it feels real. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I did during the period of my time that I was the most depressed. I just kept smiling, and eventually it did become real. And eventually the really sad days do turn into memories, and they're not always permanent, or maybe they're just more fleeting moments in time rather than taking up so much overall space, But what's interesting about this boundaries card is that there's a ring of fire around where her feet are. And she really just looks like she's focusing in on, wow, and look at the way that the halo is. If you look at, like, try to trace it correctly on the camera, this little section here and this here, if you really look at it, it's like an eye. And she is the reflection within the eye. If you see something, say something. Don't know where that came from. Type thing. Like, boundaries aren't always just in relation to you. They could also be in relation to other people. Like, if you notice that there are some levels of inequalities going on around you, this might be a message that maybe it's in your job, maybe it's in your career, maybe part of your job is to stick up for people who don't have boundaries. Maybe that's supposed to be part of your career, is to help those that are less fortunate. Like, and a boundary can be as simple as, like, I don't know, maybe they don't have a roof over their head, so maybe the boundary of there being a ceiling doesn't stop the rain from coming in. So maybe this is a sign to be a roof for someone that might need it right now, because eventually the cycles are always moving. The cycles are always changing. Maybe at some point in time, again, you could be the person that needs a roof over their head, and someone close to you decided to be that roof, I don't know if that's a silly analogy, but yeah, that's really interesting. Another message that I'm getting from this career card is that there is a ladder that is placed up against the tree there, signifying, oh, look at the tiny little butterflies in there. What a beautiful little detail that I've never noticed. there's transformation coming for you guys, pile number 3, when it comes to your career. Expect positive changes this year in that department. But I will say, for some of you, here's this last card that I've been hiding in the corner. Turtle spirit. Slow and steady wins the race. So for a lot of you, I'm seeing with most of us, I mean, even, I don't remember who was in pile number 3. Virgo, Taurus, Gemini. I have to go back and listen again. I don't know if was Gemini in pile 3? That's okay. That's irrelevant. Not everyone's going to listen for their zodiac signs. Oh man, it's a chaotic video. I love it. So, speaking of Gemini though, that's actually kind of where I was going with that. In, I believe it's May of this year, Jupiter transits into Gemini. And then prior to that, at the end of March, there's an eclipse, because eclipse season is coming in hot yet again, where Saturn is going to transit into Pisces. So we are about to enter in a different era. The outer planets moving are generally a time that affects those that are energetically sensitive in relation to the whole of society. Like, you will feel a very tangible shift this year. Saturn in Pisces. Ooh, I'm starting my Saturn return this year. So, I don't know, people like me, people that have this placement, like, our karma is to, I can't even say that. Exactly. 12th house, Pisces, dissolution, right? Dissolving of everything you think you know about spirituality, because it can always be weirder. It can always be some things you are not expecting. I think even as a whole of society, people are going to start going through some awakenings. So, that's very interesting. Oh, I'm very big time losing track of my thoughts, because I'm going to be honest with y'all. Speaking of Saturn and Pisces and 12th house energies, I work at a dispensary. I took an edible at the beginning of this video, and it has been a race against time, and I am slowly slipping into sleep. Say that 10 times fast. So anyway, this is 6 cards. Let's see. I'm going to sit with the silence for a moment and see if there's any additional messages that are supposed to come out of here. Okay, so with this card particularly, I've been kind of zoning out and staring at these water droplets every so often throughout this particular pile, and it almost looks like a little heart. But regardless of that, the message I was getting was maybe this particular pile could go sit by a body of water and just meditate, because you might see something while you're out there connecting in nature, whether that be the wind speaking to you, an animal running by, something splashing in the water, you know, there's always messages in everything. So take that as a sign to, let's just say you do go to a body of water, right? If you see like a dragonfly, for example, go home and look up the spiritual significance of a dragonfly, because it might tell you some things that you might not have known that you needed to hear. With that being said, I just got an intuitive feeling that my family just pulled up. So I am going to end this video here, as I just saw 4444 on my recording. I hope this was helpful for you guys. And thank you for tuning in. This is a really long video for my first video. I love that. If you stuck around this far, thank you. I think I just said this out loud already, but I hope this was helpful. And I hope you guys have a beautiful year. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.